All right, to take your model to the next level and to earn the best grade possible, what you will need are adding the addition of items to your drawing. Of course, you will need labels. You will need captions to go along with either the labels or either zoomed in pictures. You will also need arrows, drawing lines to specific items, like the tongue of the rattlesnake. And you'll also need a title stating the animal that you've done. So where you put these things and arrange them is up to you. Some of you have already added some of this, and it could be exactly where you want it to be, or you might need to maybe adjust it or change it. Everything Mr. Adolphson has done is in pencil, so now what you must add is think about this. Now write these down. Don't write these on your model. Go get some different paper and write them on a different piece of paper. I'm just going to write them on my model, so it's all here in one place. You will need a title. Oh, I'm just pretending to put a text box here. Don't put a text box there unless, of course, you want to put the name of your animal there, like rattlesnake, and if you want to put a frame around it, you can. Don't write the word title in it, okay? I'll show you how this connects to a different one in just a moment. You will also need labels. Right? You would write tongue there. Now, how the rattlesnake uses its tongue to sense heat in the area would be an important caption to put someplace in this area. So you'll also need captions. Captions explain part of an image in a detail. So far, we've talked about three things: a title, labels, captions, and finally, arrows. You will need these, at least these, 4 things, but also possibly zoomed in images or other parts of the animal. Now let's take a look at Mr. Adolphson's final version of his snowy owl and compare it. I have my title. I have multiple labels. I have captions explaining and going into further detail. And of course, lines and arrows to connect with each label. This one is not completely done, but it's pretty close. This is how I started. All of you will be taking an image of your model, taking a picture of it. You're going to probably need to take more than one picture. You guys know how challenging it is to try to take a picture, for instance, of your homework or other things, showing your work for a math problem and Mr. Adolphson trying to read it, trying to look at the letters. Sometimes it's in focus in one area and blurry in another. Sometimes our fingers are covering up parts. Sometimes it's crooked, or some of it is cut off to the point where we can't see all of it. So you're going to want to make sure you can take a crisp, clean image as best you can, which means you want your words, your letters, your lines, your drawing to be as clean and crisp and clear as possible. You can see if I put these side by side, which one would stand out better in a photograph, especially a photograph coming from our Chromebooks, right? The one here on the right has used both pencil, ink pen, and my black Crayola marker that got sent home to me on the last pickup. For the major labels, I simply went over it as neatly as I could with the ink pen so that it would stand out. But also, I had to be neat so that the letters didn't, and the lines of the letters didn't start touching each other and kind of blending in and making it harder to read. You can tell some of the captions, like this one, is much more bold, whereas these ones are not yet. These are ones that I have gone back over with my pencil. In my house right now, you can hear the clock. It's 10 o'clock on Monday night. You can go back over these with pencil or your ink pen. When you go back over them, sometimes we tend to trace a little faster because we know how to write letters. And we know the letters we already wrote. But if you go over them too fast, well then it won't make it stand out better. It'll actually make it look more sloppy. You will be given a 1, 2, 3, or a 4 score on your model. A 1 being a model that looks like a 5th or 6th grader did it, or like it might come out of a textbook. That's how detailed it is. Not necessarily how realistic the drawing is, but how detailed and in-depth. And of course, neatness does matter. Big time. A 4 would be almost nothing or very little effort seen. A 2 would be what most 4th graders would put in. Standard, good, solid effort. And a 3 would be not quite up to 4th grade expectations. Now you can see the difference. You'll need to take your model from here to here. Let's talk about some differences between these, however. There are some things I like about the model right here on the left. I like the zoomed in version of the eye. Remember, we looked at how the pupils enlarge at night to allow in more light. So I do like that aspect. Maybe you could find a way to do that. Things that I don't like as good. The letters and the words that I wrote here are kind of light. If you look in some areas, I did not use my best handwriting. Some of the letters kind of blend together and I can't quite read them. So imagine that snapped in a picture. Very difficult. Okay, so some things I like here, some things that need to be better. Overall here, I have my title. I have my labels, arrows. I have my captions underneath. White feathers act as camouflage in winter. Claws. Tendons pull on the muscle to open and close the owl's claws. And finally, what I'll put down here, I'll add just some more details and description about the owl that I can find in the article that I read about it. Just some unique and nice things, just like you can with your great white shark, your rattlesnake, your insect-eating bat, okay, and the things that you've looked at. A final product is crisp, clean, outlined, easy to read, a great picture. You might need to take more than one to make sure you get it right, and upload into your final Google Slides assignment. Enjoy doing this. You are designers and creators, and I look forward and am very excited to see what all of you guys upload and turn in for me. Thanks.